right, let me blow your mind for a second so you finally understand how this universe works and exactly what does it mean to manifest and a little bit of science behind it. By the way, if you want to have like a full-on course about the science behind manifestation, you can head on my link down below where I have my formula, and it's included in the formula more than 4 hours webinar, replay of a webinar that I did 2 years ago about the science behind manifestation. But you don't have to if you follow this video. So let's get started. Hello everybody, my name is Nea, and on this channel I talk everything about manifestation, esotericism, and so much more. Obviously, for private coachings and all my services and spiritual guidance, the links are down below. And just in case you guys want an app for your meditations, your affirmations, and so much more, just check out on Aura. The link is down below. You get a free trial and a 40% discount. It's my favorite app and I use it daily. So with that being said, let's talk about what is going on in this universe. So a lot of you guys hear this concept of quantum jumping or manifestation, creation is finished, it is done, and still you get doubts. It's like, how is it possible that it is done? Like, I just don't get it. I don't see it. I'm really struggling with manifestation. Affirmation apps are not really working. So or maybe I have a very strong scientific mind or logical mind. Let me fix that for you in just a second. We're gonna go back to the Schrödinger cat. So if you have never heard of the Schrödinger cat, this is a thought experiment. It means that no cat was injured during the process. It's an imagination. Thought experiment means in your imagination. So Schrödinger was a physicist specializing, in quantum mechanics, or also known as quantum physics, and he made up this imagination experiment. I'm going to put pictures over here so you can follow me visually. Why this is so important to understand manifestation? This is the key. This is the science behind manifestation. Obviously, disclaimer, science didn't prove 100% that manifestation is real, but I think, and this is my opinion, so take it as my opinion, we are getting closer and closer. I don't think science will ever prove it 100%, but we're getting closer and closer to have more proof and data that our mind indeed have an effect on this reality that is just much more than, oh yeah, because of our behavior and actions. Like the observer effect, I think, is getting proven more and more often. And if you want to know more about the science again, that is behind a little bit this research to prove our states of consciousness related to manifestation, you can look up, for example, the movie of Joe Dispenza or Joe Dispenza Works, because he has an entire research team where they're trying to reconcile spirituality with science. That's just for you if you guys are interested and curious and you want to know more. But like I said, just follow this video and you will get it. So yes, we need to talk about quantum mechanics if you really want to break down every doubt when it comes down to manifestation and you really want to understand why your desire is done. So let's dive into the rabbit hole. So let's go back to Schrödinger. Schrödinger created this imagination experiment, and the experiment, I am paraphrasing, I am oversimplifying. So if you are a quantum physicist, don't hate on me. I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. So think about a box, and inside the box, we're going to put a cat. Remember, we are not putting physically any cat. It's an imagination experiment. So we're going to put a cat inside the box, and we're going to put a radiation instrument that will potentially with poison inside, like a machine that randomly will release the poison and kill the cat. But it could do it or not do it. It's a random, it's a random guess, like 50-50, okay? And imagine the reality, most likely it's not a 50-50. The possibilities are infinite. This is a very small experiment. So we got the cat, we got the poison, and we got the random timer, let's put it this way, that could pop at any minute or not pop at all. Then we close the box, okay? What happens? We are wondering whether the cat is dead or alive. And then let's say also we WhatsApp our friend on the other side of the planet and we tell them about this experiment. So both for you and your friends, the cat is dead or alive. Why? Why this is important in quantum mechanics? Because this, and through also the observation of the movement of the quantum particles, but that's a topic for my webinar. Like I said, link is down below. What is this? The cat being dead or alive? What is it called? This position, because this is a position, right? We don't know whether the cat is dead or alive. When the cat is in the box and we don't know whether the poison has released or not, this is called superposition in quantum mechanics. So the possibility of the cat being dead or alive, they exist at the same time in a superposition state. So both possibilities are real. When one of the possibility becomes real is when we open the box and we observe whether or not the cat is dead or alive. But both, when a reality is in superposition, both reality exists, they split in the multiverse, and we're gonna get that into a second. But remember that we told our friends on the other side of the planet, right, about this experiment. Let's say that we just found out that the cat is alive. Great, right? But our friend doesn't know because we didn't call them yet. For our friend on the other side of the ocean, that the cat is still in superposition in its reality. It's still, I know it's really weird, but that's how it is. Why this is important? Because this entire thought experiment, and then, like I said, later on, the observation of the quantum particles that have been found out that they were only present in certain parts, in certain positions, when they were observed, because before, they kind of disappeared. They were in a quantum haze, or not even. They didn't really exist. They were in superposition. So this experiment of quantum mechanics has opened up the pathway for other theories, like the multiverse theory. Now, there are two schools of thought. None of this theory is being 100% proven. Remember this. But in this two schools of thought, one says that in the multiverse, these possibilities, this infinite possibility, are not even in superposition, but in actuality, they exist somewhere out there in multiple universes. So there are infinite versions, like physical versions of you, that are living all the infinite possibilities that you could live. This theory, it's not very followed. I don't resonate with this theory. If you want my opinion, I'm more for this other theory. I have other videos where I mention the physicists that created this theory and other physicists. I mentioned all of it. This is a very simple recap of what I already taught and explained. In another theory, we see that instead, these infinite possibilities are in superposition and they are quantum waves. So it is only the observer that collapses them into reality and makes them material. But they are, let's put it this way, if you cannot figure it out, a wave like a quantum wave, which is not totally understandable, think about ideas. Plato, the ancient Greek philosopher, used to talk about the world of ideas. Plato was so close to the theory of quantum mechanics and the multiverse. He thought that everything exists in another world that is called the world of idea, where this perfect idea, so the perfect idea of yourself, of the chair, of the horse, of a cat, etc., they live all together, and whatever we see in the 3D is a reflection of the perfect world of ideas. If you want to know more, just study the philosophy of Plato, the ancient Greek philosopher. That's pretty much similar to what quantum mechanics, with the very simplified, overly simplified, of course, with the quantum waves is saying. This is where I stand more. So how is this all related to manifestation? So we have learned that everything is possible, but most likely we live in a multiverse. If we do live indeed in a multiverse and this theory at some point gets proven, it indicates therefore that the possibility of your life tracks and other people's life is infinite. Okay, but who determines that? Because if all these possibilities live in superposition, so stack upon each other without a sense of future, but they all exist in the present moment, layered on top of each other in superposition. Think about it in this way, so it's a lot easier. It's not accurate in a quantum mechanics to explain it in this way, but it's a lot easier to understand. So if these lives, infinite possibility, are all done, it is done, they're already created, and they live in a form of a quantum wave in superposition, how do you enter them? Because you can't travel through a black hole. We already said possibly they're not even physical, which would explain why Jesus, for example, in the New Testament says, I am not of this world, but I am in this world. I respect this illusion, but I remember where I come from. I am consciousness, right? You're following me through on this one? I told you, I'm going to blow your mind. So with that being said, who is the observer? And by the way, the people that usually answer these sort of questions is the philosophy that interprets the implication of quantum mechanics. And this philosophy is called quantum Bayesianism. So according to quantum Bayesianism, which is not a science, but is a philosophy, they say the observer must not just have a self-concept. It needs to have also memory, a sort of personality, an identity. So it can't just be a plant, even though that could be, but it has to be a conscious observer with a memory, a personality, and a self-concept, an identity. And guess who said that as well? Joe Dispenza. Joe Dispenza in his books always says your personality creates your personal reality, because it is through the identification of a particular observation of yourself, your memories, and your identity, and therefore a state of consciousness, that a quantum wave can collapse into a physical reality. And therefore, yes, creation is finished, but your life gets experienced on a singular perspective because it's collapsed by your memories and self-concept. And so, well, that will open up the discussion, for example, for how we teach children which are on an expansive state of consciousness. Their subconscious mind is wide open, so they don't have or retain memories yet. That's a whole topic for it, because if we teach children this, then maybe our reality will completely change, because they will have a completely set of belief system that we as adults are now trying to overcome. But that's a topic for a different video. So if the premises of quantum Bayesianism are true, and the observer, it's us, it's basically consciousness, or actually, let's take a step back, it's a personality. What if we don't like our lives, but we know that we live in a multiverse, and we know that we have infinite possibilities? How do we collapse those other quantum waves that are in superposition? They are not yet collapsed into the world. What do you think? How do we do it? I want to hear you in the comment section. Not just with your thoughts. Remember, yes, it's with your thoughts. But you gotta take a step back from what? Remember what we said? The observer is a combination of identity, self-concept, and memory. Therefore, who we need to become. Neville Goddard used to say this a lot. Who do we need to become in order to collapse waves that are in superposition? They are not yet collapsed. Because the only thing that we can collapse is our true states of consciousness, personality, memory, and identity. So what we gotta do? We have to remember who we are. We are not the body. We're not even the mind. I know that I am, and I am is God. Joe Dispenza talks about this as well. For example, it's about going to the void state, which you don't need a long drag meditation to do that. It's a matter of awareness. That's all that it is. You go back, you take a step back from your ego, from your memory, identity, and personality, and you decide to change that. You change and you say, I am. I know that I am. You go to the void state. By the way, in my formula, there is a meditation to enter the void state if you guys are interested. And also it is on my Patreon. Links is down below. But you can just meditate with the audio tracks of Neville Goddard saying I am, or just repeating I am, or having acts of self-awareness throughout the day. Okay? So With that being said, yes, affirmations do work, and the repetition of affirmations work because repetition changes your states of consciousness. But this video, it's not to say just affirm, it's just to go a little bit deeper on these topics, because I have practiced and experimented with the law and so many methods for years now that I am so confident about this. So when you take a step back from your personality, let's put it this way in a very broad way, and you go into the void state, you recognize the power of your subconscious mind, then you become God. Then you are an extension of Creator itself. And in that infinite field of blackness, in that infinite field and spaciousness of the I am present, so you're not the body, not even your mind, is there that you can collapse, you can observe the quantum waves through your human imagination. So yes, through your thoughts that are in superposition. So yes, it is already being created. Like Neville Goddard said this. It's me from the future, from the multiverse, because I'm editing the video and I just forgot to add this thing. Why do you need to enter the void state and you cannot just simply do it before? Or why do you have to bring awareness and step back from your character? Because as in the slides I showed you, when you are in that identity, in that personality, in all of those thoughts that create your ego, let's say, for example, you are constantly observing a particular reality. You are complaining about certain circumstances. The observation of that reality got collapsed all the time. So by virtue of what we explained through quantum mechanics, it's when you bring awareness to your I am presence that you're not observing anymore that particular circumstances, and now you have the freedom to collapse and have a different observation. You have the freedom, to observe a different reality and then collapse it, because the other observation that was related to your old self, your old beliefs, and that old circumstance, it's now gone. It doesn't affect you anymore. But it was all written in the slides if you take a moment to read them. So sorry for the update. Before quantum mechanics was even explained in this way, Neville Goddard said, your imagination is God. Go to your human imagination, which is what Abdullah taught him, by the way, and there you will see it. If you can see it, you can have it. Why? Because when you go into your I am presence, you in your human imagination, if you can't see it because you have a fantasia, you affirm it, so you see it as a thought, you are seeing the superposition. And when you're seeing the superposition, it's just a matter of observing the reality that you want, changing your state of consciousness, and it has to collapse. That's physics. That's the multiverse. That's why creation is finished. Now, to finish this video, how do we reconcile, therefore, the idea that there are infinite realities and infinite things? And please don't try to jump in Harry Potter world or House of the Dragon world. You know, if I never tried it, okay? If there are infinite possibilities, I don't know. Maybe I can jump in House of the Dragon, bloody Westeros world. I think that Westeros got manifested, or Harry Potter got manifested in the 3D in the form of movies and in the form of a book. But I have never attempted quantum jumping into being a Targaryen. If all of a sudden I disappear from this world, I might have succeeded becoming a Targaryen, but I don't advise going there. I think we have to lose a little bit of logic still and be grounded when we're doing this sort of thing. But that's only my opinion. Don't cut at my throat for saying this. Anyhow, how do we reconcile, therefore, yes, there are infinite possibilities, and every single decision, even that I make into this world, kind of splits on these multiple live tracks, multiple scripts, me with my SP, me not with my SP, money, not money, I'm rich, I'm poor, I'm middle, infinite version. I even discussed with my husband, so that means that I could be the president of the United States for fun, right? Because I'm Italian, I cannot be the president of the United States. And my husband said, well, think about it. If your dad would have married an American woman and then moved to America, then yeah, in that reality, you are American. Maybe you were born, it doesn't even matter the gender, and you became the president of the United States. It's not that impossible to imagine. That reality, if according to this theory, might exist. I'm not even gonna get there. Because like I said, how do we reconcile infinite realities theory and the multiverse explained in this way and manifestation and creation is finished with your desire, spirituality, karma, and your soul. Let me blow your mind once again. Okay, this is the way I think it works, and we reconcile this spirituality with this theory. Think about it. You are a soul, an infinite being, an extension of source energy. Your higher self most likely lives in the fourth dimension, which is the dimension of time, where past, present, and future exist all at the same time in superposition, right? And we have some proof of that through the work of Michael PhD Newton when he describes the ring of destiny and other concepts that belong to the spirit world through his regression of his clients, many clients. And if you want to know more about the ring of destiny and this particular research, you can head on my Patreon. I did a video last week. So with that being said, if we assume that our higher self, because it's a higher self, must live and reside on a higher dimensional plane, right? Because even physics knows that there are at least 12 dimensions, even though we don't have the instrument to calculate them. And I think it was Einstein that discovered the fourth dimension, which is the dimension of time. But beyond that, we really don't have any way to calculate those other dimensions. So if we know that there are multiple dimensions in our higher being, we must assume our soul lives on a higher dimensional state. Then we also must assume, and this is philosophy when we do all these assumptions, we also must assume that our soul sees the multiverse and sees every quantum wave, every possibility in a superposition state. So think about it. If you have a higher self that can see every possible infinite reality that you could experience and every decision that you could make, which is, by the way, how predictions in tarot and psychic work, they see the superposition, but I have other videos to explain that as well. But let's assume this for real. So if the soul lives in this higher dimensional state, can see the superposition, then wouldn't you think that it will give you intuition or hints that will guide you through your feelings and desires where it is best for you to go? This is how you reconcile infinite realities with spirituality and spiritual knowledge. Your soul has access to the superposition. And by having access to the superposition, it gives you desires. Because those desires, if are genuine to your heart, as Florence Scovel-Shinn has taught for years, will lead you to the best possible collapse, to the best possible life track. So when you follow love, which is the highest energy of all and is the standpoint of creation, then you can never be wrong. Never, because you're going to learn the lessons that you got to learn. And think about it. Why do we have this observer effect? We have this observer effect to teach us what? To teach us through seeing our own reflection, the reflection of our state of consciousness, who we are. So is our ego going to win? Is the illusion going to win? Or we are going to do what Jesus said? I know that I'm in this world, but I do remember that I am not of this world. Therefore, I'll heal the blind, because in reality, it's never been blind. We're all perfect. You understand what I'm trying to get? This game, Florence Scovel-Shinn, in fact, used to call it the game of life and how to play it. This game is a mirror game to reflect our state of consciousness so we can get tested as soul. Are we going to remember that we are creators? Are we going to remember that we are an extension of God and God lives in us? What are we going to follow? Are we going to follow this 3D world and this illusion, or are we going to follow love, the energy that is us, the energy of creation? So like I said, your soul who sees the superposition, your higher self will remember who it is through your feelings, through your intuition, and through your desire, and through you feeling feelings of love will give you hints and guide you towards the best possible scenario. And therefore, you will crack the matrix. You're welcome. So that's how it works, you guys. And that's why I always said you're never wrong when you follow love. If something doesn't make you feel good, but I mean, going to the gym perhaps it might not make you feel good, right? Because you're lazy and you don't want to do it, or doing yoga, oh my God, it's so tiring. But then after you do it, you feel good. That's different. That's like you need a little bit of discipline, but then you feel good. But if something feels really off and bad, and I remember, I tell you this example so you understand, and I'm sorry this video is so long, but so you understand what I'm trying to tell you. Before, I was always hiding these topics from everybody. I was always talking in this way before even the law of assumption and spirituality were so popular online. I'm a 90s kid. Like, I was in the classroom from elementary school up to the high school and more. I was sitting around a birthday or parties and talking about these things of spirit all the time. But I never wanted to go public because I was afraid of persecution. And so I tried, and even with my tarot and psychic ability, same thing. So I tried to have, you know, normal jobs, like, I don't know, sometimes I was cleaning the swimming pools I was doing during the summer, working for hotels, waitress, and then sales assistant. Sales assistant was actually the best one. But I remember when I was doing the pool job, and I was cleaning everything for in this posh hotel, and I was sitting down resting because I was also doing the bar, so I was cleaning everything, and then I was preparing lunches and things for people, and I had a moment for myself, and I remember my soul was dying from the inside. And even though like there's nothing wrong working in a job like that, I was crying, like literally tears were coming out my eyes, and I was like, I can't live like this. Like, I need to be myself. Like, I'm dying inside. And I remember a person came and he felt so sorry for me because he just wanted a bottle of water. I was like, no, fine. Everything is fine. But then from that moment, I realized I need to follow this feeling. Like, I need to work and just be myself. I need to put myself out there. And through the years, the rest is history. I'm here on YouTube being exactly myself and teaching you guys the thing that I love the most and I love talking about. And it changed my life. Anyone at that time, if I would have told them I'm going to be a YouTuber, I'm going to talk about spirit world and this and that, at that time when this shit wasn't even popular, they would have thought I was mad. But I followed the call of my soul, my higher self, the seeing the superposition. And by seeing the superposition, he knew that this would have been me today. That's how you reconcile spirituality with the multiverse. Like I said, you're welcome. If you want to know more about all these topics, and now finally it is clear for you why creation is finished, you can watch this video a couple of times or follow also my other videos about quantum physics, the science behind manifestation, my webinar, and the formula. The link is down below. All the things that I offer are down below. So yeah, I love you guys, and I'll see you very soon.